Michael Kuenzler right now, joining us live. Sir, thank you again for joining us on Right Side.
Thanks for having me, as always.
Definitely. All right, let's talk about all family pharmacy. So you guys have been getting actually a lot of national attention lately. So what's setting your pharmacy apart, and why do you think so many people are starting to call it one of the most trusted pharmacies in the country?
I think because we're allowing medical freedom, throughout all Americans, right? We've become a pharmacy where people were utilizing during COVID to start, where they couldn't go to their neighborhood pharmacy, their CVS, Walgreens, corporate chain, and just get medications that were necessary for COVID, for flu, for any type of sickness. And then, now we're into the cancer support. We're still helping people with flu and COVID, and obviously flu season's right around the corner. So it's a big topic for us here at the pharmacy level. As we prepare and bulk up on our supplies, we try to make sure that we have enough for our patients. These antibiotics will go out of stock. It's not when, it's not if, it's when. Right. So it's going to happen as we get into flu season. The temperature drops, specifically in the north. That's when a lot of people start getting sick. So we've always been there for these patients through COVID, through flu. And I think that's why they love our services. It's just being able to provide something so special to them at a time that's so necessary.
Yeah, exactly. And the choices, it's very easy to make the choices on your guys' website. Let's dive into a couple of the medications. Let's start with Methylene Blue. I know it's been around for more than a century. So the question is, why are we seeing this renewed interest in it today, especially for brain health and mitochondrial support?
Yeah, so I believe it has a lot to do with the MAHA movement, RFK Jr. really pushing forward with the Methylene Blue. We love it here at the pharmacy level. Our patients love it. We're seeing support with cancer. We're seeing support with dementia, Alzheimer's. There's companies in the UK right now that are taking the pure medication out of Methylene Blue, the active ingredient in it, and they're putting it in their own trials. They're trying it for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. We're seeing some great data on their end. We're seeing some great data on our end. We're seeing great data from our own patients. They're coming back for more. Traditionally speaking, we would have never been around if ivermectin didn't help people during the times of COVID. If it didn't help them, we wouldn't be around, and they wouldn't continue to buy from us. The fact that people are continuously refilling their prescriptions, it just shows that it's a medication that works. It's a medication that's supporting their lifestyle and helping them.
Yeah, it's great to see that. Ivermectin is one of them, hydroxychloroquine and others. So we just talked about Methylene Blue. Let's shift over to NAD plus supplementation. It seems like that's becoming popular for the anti-aging and wellness world. So can you tell us what it is exactly? Why are people calling it the fuel for life at the cellular level?
It's the powerhouse that drives the mitochondria of your cells. It produces all that ATP, all the energy for your everyday cells to work. As we get older, it declines, right? Just like every other hormone. Unfortunately, as we get older, we just don't produce it as much. And NAD Plus is groundbreaking in my eyes. It's huge. I take it. A lot of my pharmacists are now starting to take it. A lot of employees here. I have family and friends that are taking it. It's just for overall wellness. It's going to help you get back to those energy levels we had when we were 18. 20 years old, 22 years old, right? And we're not that age anymore. And unfortunately, you feel it. Specifically Monday mornings, I really do feel it. And that Monday is my favorite injection day because Monday feels like Friday now. I'm filled with energy. My brain fog is gone. I feel young again. I mean, I'm still kind of young in the eyes of a lot of our audience and viewers and patients, but still, it's after that 25, after 10 years of that, you really start to age. And I think NAD Plus is the future. People are seeing it. Wellness clinics are doing it. It's curing hangovers, supposedly. There's some great stuff about it.
Yeah, that's cool. So you've got NAD Plus, Methylene Blue, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, but also many of your patients are, what we're hearing is that they're interested in alternatives or additions to traditional treatments. So how do you guide them on safe, effective use of these kind of compounds?
Yeah, so basically alternative use, we're taking medications that have been around for decades. We know the safety profile of it. We know the efficacy profile of it. They've been around for 10, 20, 40, 50 years. Methylene Blue, 100 years. So we know it's safe. We know for long-term use and for short-term. And we know that the medications are effective. Now we're repurposing these drugs for additional uses that we're seeing in everyday lifestyle changes. Methylene Blue, specifically, like we went over with the Parkinson's or the Alzheimer's, it's got the neuroprotective properties. Ivermectin is showing great results with the Mebendazole in cancer support, right? It's not guaranteed that it's going to help you, but we're seeing great data on it. I was on a phone call this morning with a gentleman who I love talking about his story because it's such an amazing story. And his doctors are astonished that he's still alive. It's crazy. And the only thing he was taking was ivermectin. That was it. He was done with all of his therapy. He was done with all of his radiation, immunotherapy, and the chemo. So what changed? He just took 9 milligram capsules every day since October. We had a conversation this morning. The cancer's starting to grow a little bit again, but he's getting right back on the regimen and he's fighting and he's still alive. The fact that he's still alive, I think in itself is a telling story. As we know, a couple of you guys over there, as well as myself and some family members have passed away from cancer. And it's a scary thing that we talk about. So using the alternative purposes, or as President Trump says, the right to try is big with us. And we push it. We'll continue to push it in a safe and effective way.
So, well, speaking of cancer therapy, then there's another medication that we're hearing about, Mebendazole. It's best known for the deworming medication, but there's a new research out there on possible role in cancer therapy. So can you explain how a simple antiparasitic might have anti-tumor effects?
Sure. So Mebendazole, the way it works is it cuts off glucose and nutrients from a parasite, specifically in the worms. Mebendazole is used for different types of worms, which are considered parasites. So with the Mebendazole, when it cuts off the glucose and the nutrients, it kills the parasite that way. So with the data and the trials shows, obviously this information is available online everywhere. You can find this data online because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a pharmacist, I'm not going to pretend to be at all. But it cuts off the nutrition supply to the tumor, forcing the tumor not to be able to grow or allowing the tumor not to grow. So that gives your body a chance to fight it. This is small data, small trials, but it's great information. We've been using it for probably almost a year now, and we've got our own data based on our own patients, and we're continuing to sell it. People are continuing to come back and refill it. I have a gentleman, I actually spoke to him again this morning. He's become a friend of mine now, and he fills his Mebendazole and ivermectin prescription, patient of Dr. Makis, and he beat cancer. And he's cancer-free now, but he's still continuing some treatment. His doctors are still recommending to him to take it a few months after, but he feels great. The chemo destroyed his body. That's the role that it plays. Unfortunately, it's like nuking your entire bloodstream, trying to kill the bad cells. But again, you kill everything when you do that. It's amazing what we're seeing on our level. I mean, we don't hear the bad stories. We're not guaranteeing that it's going to work, but we've got some amazing miracles that have happened.
If you're joining us right now, this is Michael Kuenzler, the owner of the owner of I'm so sorry. All Family Pharmacy. Holy smokes, there's so many questions that I've got for you. All Family Pharmacy. So let's talk about a few more questions here. There's drug repurposing, taking old, inexpensive medicines and finding new uses for them. How can this approach benefit patients and reduce healthcare costs?
They're cheap drugs. They're not expensive. Your insurance won't pay for it. That's the problem. So, those are the roadblocks we run into. And, that's fine. We have a lot of people who are willing to pay out of pocket. We have HSA and FSA cards now, which a lot of people choose to go that route over insurance, or they get a HSA or FSA card through their insurance. So it's technically still paid for. It's tax-free. A lot of great benefits with those cards. But we're not bringing a drug that's brand new to the market, patenting it, and charging you $1,500 a month for 4 injections, right? We're giving you dozen capsules, 100 capsules, 150 capsules for a fraction of that cost. It's a drug that's been around forever, so we know the safety profile, like I mentioned, and the efficacy of it, which is amazing. And that is why we prefer alternative purposes on these drugs, because they're not expensive. And people would prefer a non-expensive drug that's been around for years. The vaccine is the biggest reference we could use. That vaccine was pushed through, and a lot of people did not trust it. And they didn't trust it because it's only been a year. How could you tell of the safety profile of it? It's only been a year. We don't know long-term usages of it. So, people questioned it. When it comes to ivermectin, it's been around for 40 years and saved millions of lives. People don't question it because of that. And it is used in humans, not horses. Not just horses and animals. It's also used in humans.
Exactly. We have ivermectin at our house, and it's great to have. And it's great that you guys are there to be able to get it directly shipped to our door and any door across America. Now, some critics are saying that pharmaceutical innovation is too focused on high-priced drugs, while other generics with huge potential are ignored. So what's your take on that, and how do you see it affecting patient care?
Yeah, we're big advocates of repurposing, like we chatted about. I think repurposing is awesome if you can find a good quality drug and it has great data being used off-label for another purpose. That's ultimately what we're speaking about. And there's tons of drugs out there that are like that, and they go through their trials, and this big drug company spends millions of dollars pushing it for one thing, and then years later they find out during the trials it actually helped with something else, and they repurpose it for another use. So we're big proponents on it because ivermectin is probably the leading candidate when it comes to this type of medication, and it's been around for years. We got the safety profile, the efficacy of it, and it's going against what big pharma is about. Big pharma is about innovation, creating new drugs, patenting them, controlling the market, and controlling the spend. And the government falls right along with it because the government, they can't touch them. These patent laws are just beyond insane what they can do. So we love it. We're always going to be there to find something that's cheaper and more affordable for the American people.
All right. Now, if you're just joining us, Michael Kuenzler with All Family Pharmacy joining us. A couple more questions for you before we let you go. So you guys do this custom compounding. So how does this allow you to provide treatments like troches, nasal sprays, or low-dose therapies that patients can't find elsewhere?
Yeah, so we're 795 certified. We have our compounding room where everything's sterile and clean. We compound the medications in low dose, high dose. We love compounding because specifically it can help patients in so many different areas, whether they have an allergy, whether they don't want all these crazy additives added into their medication. Our compounding, we have 2 ingredients, one active, one inactive. That's it. There's not 5 to 10 ingredients in there. It's just one active, one non-active. So we're able to create that. People love it. When it comes to low dosing, we suggest low dosing for those who are susceptible to side effects. You can't really combat a side effect other than just taking lower doses throughout the course of the day so that you're keeping that same blood level. So compounding helps with that. Compounding also helps with newer routes of how we take medication. So some people don't like injections and they're afraid of needles, or they just feel they're not experienced enough to inject themselves. So we suggest a troche. You just basically sit that troche in your cheek for 30 minutes and it melts in your mouth, and the glands of your mouth just basically absorb the medication. Instead of it being dropped into your stomach and destroyed by all the acid and causing you gastrointestinal issues, it's just absorbed in your mouth. Faster and more efficient. So compounding has great ways of helping people in so many ways, like I explained. We love it.
Yeah, and finally, that's interesting. I've never heard of being able to do something like that. But if someone is watching today and they wanted to explore options like Methylene Blue, NAD+, what should they know before starting, and how important is it to work with a knowledgeable compounding pharmacist?
What's important, and questions are important. People are going to ask us questions all day. Like, they want to know what we're adding to the medication. We tell them straight up, we don't add anything. They're afraid of, the government and overseas companies tainting medication, as they see online. Everything that comes through us is safe and effective. It's third-party tested. The purity levels are at the highest. America is known for some of the greatest medications in the world, because of our strict regulations. And we're always going to abide by those strict regulations here at the pharmacy level and the compounding level. So when you come to our pharmacy, just know that you could trust us. You can look us up online. We have tons of reviews. We've been around for 5 years. We're never going to change the way we do things. We're not going to go cheaper routes. We're going to continue working, getting better, providing more medications. Methylene Blue is just a tipping of the iceberg. There are so many other medications out there that are cheap and available that can truly help everyday Americans.
And on top of that, All Family Pharmacy, you guys are having a percentage off 2 of the medications. Plus, if you use the RSBN 10 code, you'll get, so it's about 35% off. Is it ivermectin and is it mebendazole?
Yes, so right now, the ivermectin and mebendazole, we decreased the prices of up to 25% on our website. And then if you use the RSBN 10 coupon, you get an additional 10%. So you're saving 35%. It's on new prescriptions, it's on refills. All of our patients who are out there that are listening, who are already purchasing from us, they can go ahead and refill it however they choose. It's always going to be available, until we decide otherwise, but I don't see us increasing pricing.
Awesome, awesome. Michael Kuenzler with All Family Pharmacy. Thank you so much again for joining us on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Definitely.